Hello and welcome, folks, to another edition of RSF Radio. I am your host, Joe Monday, and I have a very special guest, very sponsored guest tonight. A good friend of mine, mhike2podcast. How you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going, Joe?
It's going okay. It's going okay. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm riding the wave of excitement. I feel like there's been a string of exciting news the past couple weeks. At least fighting game wise, and I don't know, the weekly tournaments for us have been pretty good. I mean, you've been there. You've been the
they've been pretty solid
of many a highlight reel. But even like outside of your performance in the weekly, like, man, it's just there's like a weird smattering of characters. There was a Nash in that made finals.
Our top 8, the character diversity is crazy.
Yeah.
See a Nash, Sakura. You know, you don't see your typical just Akuma, Karen, Rashid. You actually see a good mix. It makes it really fun.
Which isn't to say that there aren't strong Rashids or Karens that frequent the tournament, to be honest. It's just, it fucking happens that way. You'll get a Fong grand, we had a Fong grand finals, like, no, that was a losers semifinals.
Losers finals.
Yeah, losers. I don't, see, that's the thing, where people expect me to, like, remember shit that happens, like, that is directly in front of my face that I'm supposed to be watching and commentating, but that is, like, the furthest thing from my brain whenever actually streaming the tournament. That stuff, I have no RAM left in my brain to, like, save any of that information, or at least remember to, so it's all, that shit goes out the fucking window. But
well, for me, the only reason why I remember it was because I was trying to watch both their gameplay, because I had to play the winner of that. So I was super stressed out.
That's so hard to do, because a Fong plays the Geef matchup like literally opposite then they would play the Fong mirror match. That would be
one thing
except for maybe mix-ups.
You do get one, which is the fireball timings. They still practically do that. But other than that, it's still stressful.
Of when they want to throw and what timing they want to do, of like, do they back up in between? Do they whiff a jab? What's their tendency?
Correct.
Do they typically go one after the other? Yeah, all that stuff. All that stuff that grapplers keep in the mental locker that a lot of people don't think about. Of like, did he throw projectile back to back, or did he projectile Sobat projectile? What are we looking at here? Different time.
Oh yeah, definitely got to keep track of all of that.
Hell yeah. But anyway, people know you as I can definitely say that you're the strongest Geef in America. I say that with confidence. The world? Question mark. Do we have the confidence to say that you're the best in the world?
I'm not that confident to say I'm the best Geef in the world. I would rate myself probably in the top 3, maybe. I'll have a lot more self-confidence if I see more tournament results, and the only way for me to do that is to actually go to more tournaments, right?
Yeah, actually attending them. Speaking of which, if people don't know and they haven't been following, or maybe if this is your first episode, or what have you, or you don't know what's going on in our Street Fighter, the community decided, there was a round of voting, and they decided that they wanted to send Didi Mokov and mhike2podcast, the number 1 and 2 players, to Combo Breaker of 2019, which is coming up in 2 weekends from now. So we're close to the event right now. And they all voted, and they said, these 2 players who we want to see, and the fundraising has begun. We're practically there. I can say this out loud into this microphone because I know, like, the mental math in my head, but, like, taking into account the carryover money, or like our war chest from streaming, we've made enough to send you both to Combo Breaker. We're all set. We're all good. That doesn't mean that people shouldn't still go and donate, or at least go check out the merch, get a shirt, buy a shirt. Why don't you?
Yeah, the shout outs to Quasi for making those designs. They are fire.
They're so good. Like, I say this every time we have a sponsorship like this, because he works so fast and the quality of work is so good. Like, he basically made all of the designs, basically over a weekend.
Well, you should see it whenever I ask him, like, whenever I have any ideas for even just an emote or overlay or something like that. Give him 30 minutes. He already has a baseline to like give to me and ask me, all right, how does this look? I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, it is the speed of which he works and the quality that you get is like kind of unreal, in my opinion. Because I think the designs that we got this time around were pretty darn good. I mean, even like so people don't know this, but we actually had, and I haven't shown the original Didi Mokov designs, but we approached that as it became pretty clear that he was gonna be the number one slot. We were like, okay, so let's like move forward on presumptuous designs over what it might be. And we ended up like not using any of that stuff like at all, or even the art style that it was in. And the thing is, like, we really can't save it for later. I might share it with this episode. I might tweet it out whenever this episode goes live, because I do like the design. I think that he should have the design once we finish this, but it's good stuff. Or even like I guess did we share with you all of the
I think I may have seen a sneak peek about it. Did it have to do with the color green?
Yeah.
Yes.
But even like your designs, because I know that you and Quasi talked directly, and I don't know if he showed you any of the sneak peeks, but regardless, we landed on that design of Keith demolishing a controller because it's something that you're pretty darn good at, to be honest.
Oh, you know how many controllers I went through last year?
An unfortunate amount. If the answer is more than one, which I know it is, that's an unfortunate amount. Seriously, it's not like controllers are inexpensive, dude.
5 DS4 controllers.
Shit,
I went
dude.
through 2 this year already, and 1 Xbox Elite controller. It gets expensive.
Yeah, man, that's unfortunate. Even like the one that broke my heart was the Devil Dan one, that had the what did it have, the Geef the reeds on it, or what was the design on it?
Oh, so it had mhike2 strong. So it had mic on one handle and 2 strong on the other.
That's right.
And then it had my logo right in the middle.
It's your weird M2S logo, which I think is pretty cool. But anyway, folks, whenever see, I'm like palling around now. I've talked too much about what we have going on way too far into this episode, where I would typically ask the guest of what they have going on and what they've got cooking, and to pitch all their social stuff. So, Mike, what do you have going on right now? Let's put this stuff up right in front of the show so people don't skip it at the end. What are you doing in your free times?
Well, we've run a pretty tight schedule here, Joe. My free time is literally me laying down. If I'm not at work, I'm usually streaming on Twitch, and a lot of you guys already know. I even have a 5-day-a-week schedule on there, which I gotta update because of I actually had it at 7 days a week before.
That's
for streaming.
7 days is aggressive. That's an aggressive stream. 5 days, I think, is aggressive. But I mean, I don't think I could do it, and I don't have a kid like you. I'm not even a parent. I'm a dog dad.
Oh, but you should see it. It keeps you on your toes being that tight in a schedule, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I get home, I get like 30 minutes. I gotta make sure I gotta prepare something for my daughter, like a snack or two. Start my stream, end it. Make something for myself when I'm done streaming, because by the time I'm done, I'm super hungry.
Right.
And then rinse, repeat. Go to sleep, wake up, go to work. Same thing right after.
Hey man, that's tough. But that whole time you're pretty much grinding the whole time. Like when you stream, you lab, you run long sets. You're grinding to be a strong player, which also, if people don't know, just a little stat wise about Mike, is that he is the only Zangief warlord out there. No others.
And it's only going to be like that for a while.
I think I think so. Unless you fuck it up and drop rank, but that is up to you and you alone. Honestly.
You know, fun fact, I was actually willing to do that back in season 3.5.
Yeah.
Prior to getting the season 4 patch.
Well,
as a protest to literally de-rank myself all the way back to rookie, just so it skews the numbers.
Wow. You were gonna smurf it. That's rough. See, people complain about smurfs a lot. That's the thing that, listen, I get it. From your perspective, as a strong player who might want to test themselves of how quickly can I make it to whatever rank, I get it. There's a part of me that says, you know what, I understand that. But from the moderator side of people who come to our street fight, like new players, and are like, man, these smurfs are a fucking problem. They ruin the enjoyment of the game. It's like, I kind of see that too often, and it bums me out.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you think about it, anytime you join a tournament or anything like that, you'll never know exactly what the range of skill of your opponent are gonna, what they're gonna be. You could get someone that just got the game that same day, or you could get a professional CPT Japanese pro player. So for me, I don't care. I don't mind. I'll play anybody. I just have fun with the game.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that is true. If anyone watches your stream, you have a sheer enjoyment when you play that I think is infectious and good. But I argue, counterpoint, is not everyone is after that competitive feel. A lot of people are just in it for the funsies, and whenever they get dunked real hard and have no idea. See, the player that I'm talking about, and by the way, when I say this, I'm not saying this in a disparaging way. I'm not trying to throw shade. The player that I'm talking about is the player that doesn't know why they won. It's the kind of player who will win in whatever, just by hitting buttons or jumping at their opponent, not necessarily understanding why they got the W, and they certainly don't know why they lost. And it's that player who comes to it, and they might be a new player, they might just be trying to enjoy the latest and great. I say latest and greatest, but this game's like 3 years old. That's not that old, though.
It's getting there, though.
It's getting there, but we'll get there on this podcast. But that's something to talk about that came up this week. But I don't know, and I don't really have a transition out of this. I just want to say that I don't necessarily think that there is a good solution to this, other than perhaps having character rank be separate from player rank.
Oh yeah, it didn't. Well, I haven't played Street Fighter 4, but I heard that's what they did with the BP system or something like that.
Yeah, that's how that game was split up. You had character points and player points, and to that end, I'll say the actual arcades that are there any in America? I think there's like a couple in the U.S. They're mostly in Japan. And I talked about this on the Japan episode with Long Island Joe a couple weeks ago. But that's how the arcade cabinets are. They separate player and character rank, which I think is a good thing. And I would be willing to bet that we're going to see that in the next update, or like the final update, which I think is coming soon. But so you've got your stream going on, and you've got an aggressive schedule. You've got a lot of playing. Do you think you're ready for Combo Breaker? Are you ready?
I am ready. I believe I'm ready. I'm confident enough in the knowledge that I have right now. Granted, there's always, newer things to learn as well, what's the new tech. But I think I'm ready. I think I have the capability to make it to top 10.
Wow. Ranking it that high. You play Zangief, though.
As long as I don't get 4 Minats in a row.
See, you say that, but I've seen you dunk Minats, like strong Minats. Fluxwave Z is a strong Minat. He's good.
He definitely is.
And
that is one of the most stressful matches right there.
And I've seen you make him choose a different character. Like that is nonsense. That's nonsense. And
Birdie, I remember that.
Granted, I'm not trying to dunk on Flux. I'm just saying that's the level of Zangief we're talking about here. someone that can make. Do I need to switch off of Minot? Is my Minot not strong enough for this Zangief? That is the thing about playing Zangief, though, that is, even though I think, and I believe you think this too, that Zangief is pretty strong in Season 4, he still has Zangief matchups, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a lot better than he was, compared to Season 3.5.
Yeah, definitely.
But his bad matchups are still bad matchups. They didn't give him any extra tools to compensate for, dealing with long-range pokes. He doesn't really have any horizontal movement other than just walking and blocking.
Which, I mean, I'm kind of okay with that, honestly. I feel like that level of balance, I think, is good for this Zangief, for this iteration of Zangief. I mean, one could argue that they buffed his standing medium punch, which made some matchups a little bit better in his favor.
A little, but...
Yeah, but it's a little bit. It's only a little bit. Like, it made his good matchups really good.
Oh, yeah.
Like
that, it definitely made it really
that
good.
That button made some matchups way better for Zangief, which I feel for people who that is an issue. I feel for you. Don't think I don't. I have compassion in my heart, in my grappler heart. But not enough not to abuse it. Are you kidding me? I want to get that W. But no, I'm glad that you're feeling confident. I think that you can. I think you're one of the players who, and I was thinking about this today, of at what point do you look at a bracket, because there's so many strong brackets right now. You look at like Texas Showdown, and you're like, damn, that's rough. You look at Head Stomper, and you're like, man, that is a rough bracket.
Every pool now is just swimming with sharks,
and it's gonna be that way because I mean we're this late in the game. Granted, tournament numbers are still pretty darn high. It's like we're still putting out good numbers, but also the level of competition across the board is good. Now, at this point, I think you're one of the players who stops looking at the bracket in terms of who do I have to get by. Now it's how many players in the bracket have to get by you. I think that's a different way of looking at a bracket, because now there's like dozens of people in that bracket that are scared of mhike2strong in the bracket.
Yeah, it's actually really crazy, especially when you show up for your pools. They're like, "Oh man, I gotta go against you." I'm like, "You know who I am." The feeling that you get from it just feels so surreal. I'm like, "You actually know who I am?"
Yeah, man, you're big time. You're big time mhike2strong now.
Yeah, I gotta change my name to Mike2 Hollywood now.
Almost. No, not quite. Not quite. I wouldn't say you're Rob TV level yet. That's not. Shouts to Rob TV. He's a good guy.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, you've got an aggressive stream schedule. And I think people, if they haven't watched your stream, they should hop in. It's a good time. You're one of the. Here's the thing, folks, that I know, and this is an aside. We didn't write this down, but something that I notice about a lot of top players, or even a lot of people who are very strong players, is that they'll have the game open, they'll be playing their sets and doing their stuff, and like not really interacting with the chat at all. They're not talking to any. They're just doing that. They might go and look over at the chat and go, "All right, I see you there," but there's like no interaction. There's no like you have a microphone, fucking use it. It's time to entertain. It's time to flex and entertain. In Zangief we trust. It's time for the magic to happen, and then people are squandering their viewership with kind of nothing play. Because like I don't actually want to watch someone do their ranked grind without them being like, I don't know.
Like without interacting with them?
Yeah.
You're literally just watching someone play at that point.
I don't want to be voyeuristic about it and watch I mean, if you do that, fine. That's an acceptable way to watch a stream. You don't have to be all up in the chat spamming whatever. But like, it's just uncompelling. There's so many uncompelling streamers, some of which are usually in the top number one Street Fighter V streamers for some fucking reason. I'm not gonna spill that tea right now. We don't need to talk about that. Fucking Dawson Baines, man. Am I right?
Well,
anyway,
can't get any more specific than that.
No, can't. Anyway, because the thing is, if anyone looks at Twitch and sees what's happening, it's like, oh, well, yeah, okay, fucking got it, fine, A+. But like, you're out there and you're interacting with people, even times where it's like, oh, sorry, stream, Penny needs a snack. It's like, oh, cool, like, that's your stream's like, that's fine, Mike, take care. Or like you'll pop her on the seat and she'll say hi, and it's all very pure and good.
Well, that's one thing I always want about my stream. I want it to be very family friendly, wholesome, and I actually have an advantage with the character I play with regards to interacting with chat. So I can always read chat while SPD animation plays, so that helps out.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. It gives you something to think about during that animation. I've actually, you know what? You bring up a good point. And as a Zangief main, as an SPD happens, and I know that I've hit them with it, I've probably already decided what I want to hit him with next. Because I already have that history in my mind thinking about what their tendencies probably are. I pretty much know what I'm going to do next. Like, that calculation for me, I don't know if this is the same for you, but that calculation is pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, that happens probably right as the animation just starts up, that you're landing the SPD. I already know what I'm going to do next.
Yeah, I have a plan. Like, whether that's like an OS or a very specific hard read or a media situation or a fake media situation or a double that, like any of that stuff, that's kind of, I've already made that calculation. I already know, based on player tendencies and all that stuff. So when you say, oh, I can look at the chat and my brain is kind of off during that next period, like some people might dunk on a Zangief for being like Zangief main, just guessing. And it's like, well, now that I think about that critically, it's like, yeah, kind of. I've already placed my bet. I already know where my bet's going.
Yep. It's all on red.
Yeah, I'm pushing it. I'm riding this, okay? It hit last time. I've looked at the numbers. This is what we're going with next. I don't care. This is there's and you can freestyle after that. Like it's after that initial read where you have to start paying attention and start like reading the situation. Like if they backdashed and you did a normal throw, it's like, well, I've already buffered a 360 behind my throw, obviously, so now what?
Well, that's like the funny thing whenever I do it, and you know, there are times when I am gonna go all in with just all grabs.
Right.
I already have that all planned out up till the end. For after the first grab hits, I'm already like, okay, I'm going to do 2 grounded SPDs. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do 3 air SPDs right after.
Yep. No, it is weird. So we're probably going to get shit for this, aren't we? As Zangief,
we probably are.
As dirty grapplers, because I am kind of this. Well, let us be clear. It is pretty much only that specific hard read, because that is a 1 or a 0. You either hit it or you're getting punished for it. Like even the air grab, it is, you have to, because you cannot delay, you have to do it immediately.
Instant, yeah.
You have to do it instantly. If they woke up with a button, now your air reset. So it's like, well, I don't fucking know. It's kind of, it gets really messy if you make that hard gamble, but you already know you're going to let it ride. I already know what I'm going to do 5 in a row. They don't know it yet.
Oh yeah, I'm already committed.
But the thing is, you already know it. Here's the thing about Zangief mains: they're very good at reading. They're super good at reading. I made a hard read today, which is why Mike is on the show. We won't get into that, but I sent you a message earlier today. Was like, hey, this situation will probably happen.
And it literally just happened.
And then 5 o'clock rolled around. I got that message. Was like, check this shit out. Guess I knew for a fact this was gonna happen. Hard reads, baby. I know. I don't know.
It's the Zangief life.
That is the life, but at the same time, you have to live with that gamble. Like it's a big game. That could be 50% of your health. That could be the game in a lot of situations. But people don't like to think about that. People just like to give us shit for the hard reads.
That's why I hate it whenever someone says, well, you can just do a SPD and do it again. I'm like, if I miss it, you can do a ton of damage. Probably even more than what an SPD would do. And still have the Oki.
Like 100%, a lot more. Because if they do a neutral jump, I mean,
they get a free jump in combo.
Pretty much every character has a jump in bread and butter that ends in Oki that does more than, I mean, at least 200, right?
Yeah.
At least. Come on, fam. Don't even think like it's not a gamble on our end. It fucking is. But anyway, oh man, I'm gonna. I can't get locked in the Grappler Apologist podcast. I can't get because I can. I'll keep throwing that.
I can talk about that all day.
I know, man. That's the thing. It's hard out there. It's hard to go through a bracket. Like, for instance, if you run into DD Mokov at Combo Breaker, that's a fucking hard matchup, man. That's tough. That's a Dawson. That is. I mean, even
one of the hardest, yeah.
It's so tough. People might even say, well, Dawson's not even that good a character. He's good against Zangief. Like, that is.
Well, it's just like Falk.
Yeah, Falk is a tough matchup.
Falk had to have one good matchup.
She might be the worst character. She might be the worst character in the game. But she's got one good matchup.
Yep.
And it's against what. Would you. Here's a question. Would you rank Zangief in the top 5 characters in this game?
I personally wouldn't.
Okay.
I would say he's pretty high mid, almost close to that top 5, top tier rank. There's only one thing that's holding him back, and that's all his bad matchups.
To that, though, I might argue that his bad matchups aren't against... Well, not. I mean, like Minot is like top tier, right? You have like Akuma is top tier. I think that's a tough matchup for Geef. But I was gonna say though at the same time, like his bad matchups aren't necessarily top tier characters.
Yeah, it's like the mid and lower tier that he struggles against.
Yeah, like Nash, tough matchup. Like, but how many times you gonna see a Nash?
Hey, you never know. There was a Nash top 8 last week, or just this week, so you never know.
I mean, that's like actually like not even true because you'll see like Bonchan pull out a Nash or like, I don't know. There's a lot of people who would, but anyway, that is neither here nor there. So again, back to what do you like about streaming? Because you've obviously committed to it. You've got your schedule. It's a rough schedule. That's hard work. How you liking it so far?
For me, I love it. Look at Street Fighter. It's basically a 1-player game, or 2-player, but when you're playing against a grappler, it becomes a 1-player. But anywho, you know what I mean. You're playing the game, you get to enjoy it, but while you're streaming, and probably other streamers can relate about this, you actually get to enjoy the game more with a lot more people than just playing by yourself. And that's why I actually enjoy it. Like, I didn't even really think about grinding all the way to where I was right now. I was literally just enjoying, having fun, just playing the game with it like everybody, having a conversation with how, like, there's one person that's been in my chat for like forever, like Bea. She's been in there and I'm just like, yeah, how's your day going? Then, just stuff like that. It just makes it more enjoyable, I think. And that's what kept me going.
There's a little bit of like ritual to it, or a little bit of community to it that makes it more than just and folks, that's what makes fighting games good. Like, that's the part that makes any fighting game good, is the community around it that wants to continue to do it. Granted, you're not pulling like mega fuck you numbers in Twitch. You're not, but even like the numbers, I'm not trying to dunk on your stream. I'm just saying that like even that little bit of people who would like show up almost every day or every day, it's like, okay, this is like a nice like ritual thing. I'm gonna just enjoy the company of the people who will enjoy this thing with me. And I don't know, it's just
Yeah,
really
I mean,
nice.
it's just like hanging out with friends.
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, that's like one of the reasons why I think that the weekly tournament is good. That gives me a chance to kind of get drunk on a Monday, and I think that's A-okay, in my opinion.
I still can't believe I've been joining that for over a year now.
Yeah, man.
I still can't believe it. That time just flew by just like that.
Yeah, I mean, your Geef has definitely leveled up since the first time. A lot more maturity, I would say, in the Zangief play.
Yeah, I watched the videos, like the ever since when I first joined it.
Mm-hmm.
I was very reckless.
Yeah.
Very, very, very reckless in
You
my
were
play
playing
style.
you were playing like I play. Which there's
I just see one way, and that's it. That's my only option. I'm going for it. It's gonna work. If it doesn't, I'm gonna try again till it works.
and there's value in that sometimes, but not all the time. And
Sometimes.
it's certainly not how you get to Warlord at all. No way, Jose. But no, that's been the thing that when you said that I immediately thought of afterwards, because I'm a pessimist, is, oh man, think of all the people who haven't stuck around over the last year, or the last 2 years, last 3 years, last 5, 6 years. Just the names that have rotated in and out of the weekly. Part of it makes me sad if they're not like still around, like at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I don't know. It's nice to know at least some of these players like going out to tournaments still, or like have ingrained themselves more in their own local community. That's like, okay, that's nice. But I don't know. There's some people that I don't know. You start to miss as they move on. People move on.
Well, yeah. If once you start seeing their name every week, and you're so used to seeing them, and then they just like disappear.
I know. It sucks, but it's so it goes. So with time, that's just me trying to feel like a curmudgeon old man, trying to bring things down. But with that said, I think I super agree with you that there is joy in playing fighting games with multiple people, around, and just like the enjoyment together. There's a togetherness from it. But speaking of togetherness, something that the community at large decided they were just gonna flip their fucking lid over was Ono came out on Twitter earlier this week and just said, "Hey, there's gonna be more news." And everyone is so thirsty, Mike. Oh my
They
goodness.
are. Well, did you see how many responses that had?
Oh.
Like, how many retweets, how many likes after he tweeted that? Like, instant. Like, after an hour, there were more than 1,000 likes already. So it just, and I don't even know how many retweets it has now, but
right now
it just went all over the place.
It's 621. And this was made on the 12th. It is currently the 15th. This was 3 days ago. Ish. Well, it's funny because I looked at the time that he had made this, and it was like he just showed up at work at like 8 a.m. his, or like 7 a.m. his time. It was just like, don't worry, there's stuff. Thanks for waiting. And like, that was it.
And then just thank you for understanding.
Thanks. And then it seemed like the entirety of the community was like, did you, what information?
They ate that all up.
Oh my God. It's like hardly 120 characters and people fucking have to change their pants. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. Like, and the response from it does seem, the thing that I'll say about it, and you know what really grinds my gears, Mike? You know what really gets me? Kids these days.
Here we go.
They think they're owed everything. I bought this video game. Please talk to me. You have to tell me what the development cycle is. I demand to know. And if I don't see information, then I'm at it. You have lost me as a customer. Thank you and goodbye.
That's because we got so spoiled.
Oh man, it is actually like that, because I mean, even outside of Street Fighter, the Street Fighter world, people like look at Epic, look the things that we were talking about, I think last week or the week before, that are prescient in video game news right now, is that like release cycles for information are ridiculous, and workers are getting way overworked. They're not getting compensated, and just things are just being churned out. And like, how fast can this machine move? And the community that moves against it when things aren't moving directly. I saw a tweet from KFC Gaming. KFC, the Kentucky Fried Chicken. They were like, they made a meme post, a shit post on Twitter that was like poking Apex Legend, being like, it's been like 5 days. Like, I guess this game is dead. Are you kidding me? Do I have to have my fast food telling me that a game is dead after like, I don't get my 24-hour like methadone drip? I can't like, am I that wild?
That's crazy.
Unplug, people. Stop listening to this podcast. You don't need this information. This comes out no more than once a week. You get your hit, you get out. That's all the information you're getting. Do you need it? Do you need it?
I don't know. See, for me, I've actually been enjoying, like, at least for Street Fighter, I've been enjoying Season 4.
That's
with all
the
the
thing.
updates. I've been enjoying.
I've been having the most fun that I've been having it in a long time. I had a depressive cycle during the winter season because that's just how things get, long days and not a whole lot of sunshine. But like, it's springtime. I'm feeling good about fighting games. The tournaments have been like rocking my socks off every week. I'm like, man, fighting games are great. Tournament season, it's back in season. I have people to cheer for. I'm following storylines on the SFL. There's so much. My mind's fucking blown, Mike. I'm so beside myself. Of like, I have had so much fun enjoying fighting games in the last like 6 months, like five months. I don't know how time works. So, but then have like so many people, like swarms of people being like, I guess the game's dead. Oops.
Yep. Nope. There's no real Season 4. That's it, boys.
Pack it up. Mike, I'm tired.
Well, for me, one thing is every time they release a new character, they do really good against Geef, so. Well, think about it.
Since Kage. Are you kidding me? Kage doesn't beat.
Actually, Kage does pretty decent against Geef.
Make your argument.
Well, the Kages I go against, at least. I think it's more of the movement speed that actually irks me in that matchup. Just because he can literally, there's certain things that OSs that don't work against characters that have quicker walk speed.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. That part does suck. I see. I was gonna say, you play probably one of the better Kages out there, which is Kage Masters, who shows up to the weekly. He's like the only Kage I know. Him and Tega are like the only two, and Tega mostly plays Akuma because he's smart with his brain and his time.
If you actually tally out the games that I played against Tega when he plays Akuma versus when he plays Kage, he's won more games with Kage against me than Akuma.
Very interesting. Might have to talk to him about that. See what he thinks about the matchup as well. But because again, like, I don't have experience with that matchup because I only know like fucking one very strong Kage to like really match up and like really form a good opinion on a matchup. Okay, all right. Would you say like 6'4"?
Not even 6'4". Maybe even just at the slightest 5.5.
Okay, yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, his only drawback is his neutral is so stubby.
Yeah, it's stubby. He only got one hits. He's only got one hits. In the neutral.
That, and you can't really hit confirm forward or forward heavy punch because it'll whiff on crouchers.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anyway, about the Kage matchup, but about Ono, I'm just, Mike, do you remember when games like just like came out and you had a good time?
And that was it.
Here's another thing, and another thing, Mike. As I get into this tirade, and this is more about the industry in general. Again, is that I feel like the use of the term games as a service is I think we've booby-trapped every conversation that we have around games that are like this, that are like staged as that, just because of the connotations of what a service means. Like, Mike, for example, I paid my electric bill this month. Mm-hmm. I have to pay my electric bill next month too. You know, I bought Street Fighter V fucking years ago. I have only input a little bit more money into that system because of
luxuries.
For luxuries. At that point. That's not a service, Mike. That's just a video game that I can also, if I wanted to, put more money into. It's not like I didn't pay my electric bill up front as a service. I didn't like go to I guess buffets are like restaurants as service, if you want to think about it that way. It's like go to a fucking Golden Corral and pay your dark entrance fee, and then I guess you can eat all you want for just that flat rate. They're not going to charge you again unless you've really done something horrifying,
really bad.
Unless you have done the devil's work in there with that ice cream machine and steak station. Oddly enough, the combination of the two made a dark portal to hell in your own stomach, and they just had to charge you again. No. But like that's not a service, Mike. That's not what it is. I don't buy a baseball bat and say that this is a baseball bat as a service. And like you don't just buy an item and have that happen. I don't know. I feel like we're just booby trapping all conversations because it makes people think that they need to have information because the thing is like quote unquote a service. When
and
really
that they paid for,
that they've already paid for, but like I don't know, Mike. Like it doesn't function that way in reality, in my opinion. Am I broken for thinking that? Would you be honest with me if I'm like off the deep end?
No, I mean maybe because I'm old, but like I miss the days where you buy a game and you don't really expect more of it other than what you got already. And I'm like, with regards to Street Fighter, I'm happy with all the updates and everything. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
You know, it's nice that they're, doing patch fixes or updates, adding more characters and whatnot. But like, say GoldenEye back then when on the N64. When that came out, you bought it. That's it right there. You love it or enjoy it. That's it. I was happy. And I'm still like that with Street Fighter.
Right.
So.
And they get to update it. And they're going to update that game whether or not you put more money into that system. Which is like...
depends on how many Chun-Li costumes come out.
I suppose that's true. But at the same time, like, if you think about it, even if you think about that, a lot of that money is also going towards Capcom Cup.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they reinvest that into, like, the community and players, which is, like, I'm trying to, like, do the mental math of a budget on what it probably costs to run this game. Like, because they're doing cross-platform play, mind you, PC to PS4. Like, that's... Mm-hmm. I have heard from developers that is expensive. See the Fexel conversation, like, fucking months ago. But, like, that costs money. The money to operate, like I don't know. I'm trying to run the budget in my head, and none of it is like positive for Capcom, right? In my mind,
I mean, there's so much upkeep that they have.
There is, and they continue to do it. It's not like you're rebuying the game every week or inputting that much more money into the system that would granted, I don't know what these things cost. So like maybe if someone who has more information on this or like has worked running the books on game development could enlighten me as to why I'm actually a fucking moron, please do. But
they're gonna be like, Joe, how did you even get these negative numbers? Ours were all positive.
Listen, man, I crunched the numbers. I've been doing some number crunching. I've been math blasting my shit over here, and I can't get it to go black. I can't. But I don't know, Mike. It just seems to me that there's so much good in fighting games right now, and not even just in like Street Fighter, like Mortal Kombat. I've enjoyed every minute that I've played Mortal Kombat. I
wish I could play Mortal Kombat.
It's are you only playing on PC?
No, I can't, because on the weekdays when I play, Penny's typically in the room with me.
Right, that would be inappropriate.
Unless they come out with like a unicorns and rainbows mod and with no gore or anything like that, then I wouldn't be able to.
I think you're shit out of luck, though. Yeah, because that would be actually traumatizing to a child, I think. Some of that stuff is a little bit gratuitous, but I don't know. I enjoy playing it. I'm glad that I spent money, and I'm glad that I bought it so I could enjoy the fighting game. I like playing it. I like playing fighting games.
Or they're fun.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, for example, the other thing that we can talk about is like Samurai Showdown. Just came out with another. I can't wait to play Samurai Showdown. I'm excited for it. I would have pretty much any reason to pre-order that game, but recently they made an announcement that was like, hey, if you pre-order it, you get the season pass for free. The season pass is free. And again, I see swarms of people being like, this is how you should run a market of fighting game. Does it, like...
All I can say is kids nowadays, Joe.
Can't
make them happy.
But like different strokes for different games, man. Like, I don't want to, like, Sam Show does not look like they're not going to have tons and tons of features on release. It just doesn't seem that way. So like, you sweeten the deal with a season pass, get a lot of people to pre-order up front so you can then like work your budgeting out for like further seasons, because I don't know if they've talked about like a season 2 yet, but I think it's 4 characters at least come with the season pass, which they haven't announced all of them yet, but it's like, here we have this plan so far. So like, look at like Fexel's budget. They basically are open and honest with the community of being like, hey, if you buy more of this gives us more development time so we can make more game. Like, that's good for us. And like that, sure, that's great when you have like a very small community or small developers, small number of developers. Like, you don't have to pass it by corporate, but like Capcom could never do something like this.
Oh no, yeah, Capcom can't do something like that. Well, if you think about it, even when they tweet something out like what Ono did, yes, you're still gonna get the one group that says, I'm happy that you guys responded or said something concerning, updates and releases. And then you're still going to get that other half that still won't be happy. They'll still be like, oh, they're just stalling. There's always going to be the negative and the positive. You're never going to just make everyone happy is what sucks about it, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Because the other thing about that, specifically with Ono, you talk about passing things off from corporate. And it's like, I remember this guy being out there around December being like, hey, we're going to have big announcements in December. I would almost be willing to bet. I don't know this for a fact. Listen, I know people at Capcom. I could ask them. I haven't, because I don't want to know, and I wouldn't even ask to put that pressure on them. I don't care. But I would bet Vegas money that they had all these plans to get things out, and then from the top down, things changed. The plans fucking changed big time. I mean, they changed their whole structure of who reports to who now. Like, there was that whole talk a couple months back last August, I think, was when that change was made. So like, the gears are turning, and they're not gonna, and specifically historically, they're not gonna let anyone say any information that they aren't 100% ready to like fucking get out there and be solid on, because they've been burnt in the past for saying things that they can't provide.
show. Yeah, I mean, that's why you got to be careful. You can't just, say you're going to do all of this, and if you don't have anything to show for it, then
Yeah.
you're just going to burn yourself.
You can't just say that you're going to make a Linux version of the game. They fucking know better now. Okay. We've learned, people. Or at least they've learned. And they're like a fucking big company. And like, I don't know. A lot of their... regardless, it is like still awesome to me that they are doubling down on community and like league efforts for their like esports leagues division or whatever that means.
Oh, the Street Fighter League.
Well, they're doing like, at least it was in their like that last earnings report, which we talked about kind of last week. But it's just cool to know that they have plans for investing back into the community, not just at CPT level. And I don't know, that's cool. Whenever I look at other video games that they sell, I just like by the raw numbers. You look at RE2 and Monster Hunter, and if I was like a big business suit man, if I was sitting at the table of like the board of directors of Capcom, I'd be like, yeah, fucking make more of this. This is clearly what we need. Like, fuck fighting.
Yeah, that's
games.
what we need to focus on. That's where the money is at.
Yeah, I'd be like, fuck all these fighting games. Why aren't we demanding people pay monthly for Monster Hunter? What the fuck are you doing, people? Let's charge more for this. That's what I would be doing if I were a businessman suit. But instead, those people were like, there's a lot of good faith in Street Fighter. Let's like spend that money on the community. Like,
you just got to whip out more Chun-Li costumes, I think.
I guess that's how you got to pay for it some way, am I right? I don't know. There's at some point like that actually baffles my mind to think about like the money involved there and like the risk versus reward. Well, I don't know. They fucking do releases of here's Street Fighter 2 again in a new package. Buy this again, please. Like all the time.
Oh, with all their anniversary and all of that.
Yeah. I mean, they continue to do that and people continue to buy it because of course they do. But anyway, and there's probably like a lot of licensing that comes with that. I don't know. I would, now I'm like it. I got to stop talking.
You're going to start crunching more numbers.
I gotta hit the books again because now I got to look at licensing deals and look at all this shit. There's probably a lot more money coming in the back end, huh? I bet that's the case. I'm watching you, Capcom, but all right. Anyway, Mike, what else you got? What else we have here? One last thing before we spin off of the news segment. Speaking of community and getting into fighting games and just for the love of fighting games, Core A Gaming came out with another banger, a zinger. Do you want to set this one up?
Oh, you can go for it.
Mike, I'm just trying to toss it. I feel like I've been talking too much. But
you're fine. It's your podcast.
I guess. But you are my guest, and I want to hear more about Zangief. We'll do that here in a minute. But Core A Gaming, new video that I actually think that this is a good video to show brand new players. I think this might be one of like the quintessential videos to be like, here is how, like, whatever game plan you think you came to it with, brand new player, here's really what you should start looking at. And it is just very basic level, very well explained, good visual aids. Like, is frame data scary? Actually, no, it really isn't. And here's why. And I don't know.
I mean, they explained like those basic fundamental aspects of the game like really good. Like, yeah. When I was watching the section of frame advantage on it, and when they were saying why your jab, if it was plus or minus, why it would actually not work, or why it would work if you did it again, that aspect was pretty nice.
Yeah, because it's something that might not be obvious to a brand new player. Someone might come to you, the listener, might come to this and say, I want to press my most damaging buttons. I see this like almost all the time. I want to do my biggest damage. Why would I press jab? And this kind of explains why the jab is important. This actually took another perspective on the Gandhi match, the Gandhi versus FSP, that I actually hadn't considered of why. I have my own take on that match as to why it's important, but this took a whole other look at it, and I went, yeah, that's actually a really good way of looking at it too. I don't know. I kind of value this whole video as something that is really worth sharing. So there'll be a link in the comments for it as well. Just great work out there from Core A Gaming, as is typical. But anyway, Mike, any other opinions?
That video is awesome.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, granted, I don't know about the title so much. I think they could have said more, more information. I kind of feel baited with why not mash buttons. I get why they made the title.
That's how you have to bait. It's a YouTube channel, my guy. You
I got so baited.
You got.
I mean, I watched the whole thing.
Of course you did.
It's very informational.
Yeah. But here's like the thing though. Like to you and me, not really that helpful, but like as a way to maybe explain to new players as to like what might be going on in your head, I think it is useful. It at least gives me different language to talk about different situations that I think there's value in that, because if you don't follow Pat the Flip on Twitter, he just, was it his last one or the one before? I can't remember time. But how people are bad at explaining how to play fighting games. People are bad at teaching. So I think this is, if you think you might be bad at teaching, this might be a good video to watch, just to kind of pick up some hot tips on how to share information. But
oh yeah, I mean, they show all the visuals. They even had a hell of an example at the end when in that one match they basically explained every fundamental that they mentioned.
Yeah, man.
So that was pretty good.
Yeah, so get baited by that YouTube. Man, it's got a very good thumbnail too. It
does. I literally got so baited.
Yeah, it's got a big sledgehammer hitting the fight stick. It's a whole thing. Might as well have had someone's big yelling face next to it, honestly. But side note, speaking of YouTube stuff, and I didn't have this written down, but do you think that, and this might be a controversial opinion, so hold on, buckle in, folks, for this barn burner of an opinion. The Daigo Perry video,
Moment 37. Do people only think that is an interesting, and is it the most watched fighting game content because it is the first reaction video? But instead of YouTuber reacts, it's crowd reacts. Well, I think at that time, I mean, with all these videos that are out now with, this tech, that tech, at that time, when that actually happened, I think that was probably one of the best moments, at that time. It was just crazy how everything all played out. It got the crowd so hype.
I agree.
Everything just lined up for it.
I agree. And I think the hype of it, the crowd reaction is like why it's so good, and not actually what Daigo, because I think if you show the Daigo Perry to, and I've like tried this with people who don't know about fighting games, and they go, oh man, people just seem really excited, but it must have been like really hard of what he did. And then you actually explain to them what he's physically doing there.
When he just kept tapping forward.
Yeah, and like the timing of which he has to do it, and like the jump punish in the end as well. You explain all of that, and they go, oh, that seems like that's very difficult. And then like that level of skill that accompanies it is like, oh, that's, because like, what's some other examples of like when you watch someone do something that is considered incredible, but also have like no idea of what skill it might take?
I don't know. I mean, that would be more of the Street Fighter 4, because it was a lot harder.
Well, not even like fighting games. Maybe like pottery. If I watch someone spin a good pottery,
you're gonna think it's that easy.
I wouldn't know what a good hard technique is for pottery.
One good example is Forging, sword forging. There you go.
Sure, I don't know. Yeah, if you show me someone striking red steel with a hammer and you see the slag falling off of it, I go, ooh, excite. I don't know what's a good I can't discern the difference between a good forge and a bad forge. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's all calculated.
I have no idea. It's their temperatures wise that matter. I don't know what a good forge. Unless you show me that same sword cutting a piece of paper, I have no idea how sharp it is. That might be a good one. All right, that's all the ideas that I can think of for that. But I've expended my brain capacity. As we come to the end of this podcast, let's talk about Zangief. Because let's rap about our favorite grappler. Why am I stumbling? Our favorite grappler, Zangief. Let me ask you this, because this is something that people ask occasionally, and I don't know if I have a good answer for it, which is embarrassing. But why Zangief, Mike?
Why did I choose Zangief?
Yeah.
Well, this all started back when I first started playing Street Fighter, which was Street Fighter 2. And this was like not even the Super Street Fighter, it was literally the vanilla version of it.
The first Street Fighter?
Yep. Everyone was, picking Ryu or Ken or even Chun-Li for that matter, because they, got cool fireballs and whatnot.
True.
And nobody wanted to play Zangief because they said he just sucks. Well, I took that as a challenge, so I actually tried to learn him. Granted, at that time, you're a kid, you're just literally mashing everything. But there were times when you actually did what you were trying to do, like land a SPD, and it actually worked. And it would get them so mad.
Oh, yeah, back then,
if you
throwing
if you beat
someone?
Them,
oh, yeah.
They would call it so cheap. And, I mean, from there, just played some other fighting games, and I kind of started liking the grappler aspect, that kind of archetype of character. And then Street Fighter V came out, and that was a familiar face to me. Like playstyle, a grappler. He's Zangief, just like probably Street Fighter 2, and I was like, I literally got the game first day. I went into ranked with Geef. Lost my first 80 games, and I still kept going.
Damn, 80 games?
You know how annoying the announcer was?
This man went
in the beginning.
Wait, hold the phone. This man went on an 80-game losing streak with his first experience in the Street Fighter V, and now he's a warlord? Wow, if that's not encouraging to anybody out there, damn.
Hearing that announcer every single intermission in between games. Your win streak record with Zangief is 0 wins and 25 losses.
Damn.
Every single game I heard that in the beginning. It hurt.
That's so much pain. That's the thing. People don't realize. People might see us Zangief players out there. We might look like we're having fun and being jolly. They don't know the pain we carry.
Oh, yeah. Especially the season 3.5 pain. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that 3.5 pain. That was rough. That was a rough time. That was the dark times, to be honest. And that has mostly been corrected. Like all the actual problems I had in 3.5 were corrected, and then he got buffs on top of that. Oh, choice.
I wish there's only one more thing that I wish they would change for him.
What's
Just
that?
one more. If they could revert that 3-frame recovery that they added to knee hop.
Yes, I agree.
Because you know how they did that input delay update at one point, and that actually helped out a lot. Yeah. So I think they actually added that so people could react to it more because of the input delay. And since they fixed that problem, I don't see why not for, giving us back those 3 frames on that knee hop.
I agree with that, honestly. It just seems too slow. It's to the point where I really don't use it that often. I very rarely.
I mean, I use it pretty often just because I force my forward movement, but at the same time, I get punished so many times for using it.
In situations where I know that I'm going to hit at max range and they're not walking backwards, which is rare. It's a rare situation. Yeah, honestly.
No one sits at the same spot against a Geef.
You're not, and if you are, you've fucked up. But true. No, yeah, I don't know. Because also it kind of, the other nerf to that as well, because they added actual recovery frames, is that he doesn't have as many empty frames on the back end, so his car throw after recovery isn't as far. It's a whole thing, folks. I hate it.
Gets, especially characters with higher back walk speed.
Yeah.
Gets them right out of range.
It's real bad. It's no good. Fast walk speeds, man, they suck. My opinion.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you have ever done this of like played Chun for a match and been like, whoa, I'm just flying, slow, the brakes, you're just flying across the screen left. I can decide where I want to stand in this match. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, well, I mean, I tried to learn a little bit of Kage when he came out, just to, get used to seeing his animations and frame data. I'm like, whoa, like this guy can move. I'm like, I've been missing out. And then he has a quick jump too.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
You can just
it's a different game.
Get there. You can just get to where you want to go. And like,
yeah, I didn't even have to dash. I just like walked to the spot.
Oh, it's another world, man. Whenever you pick a different character, it's always like Piccolo taking off his weighted cape, being like, well, it's go time now. I can just move. But Dragon Ball reference, everybody. I'm trying to get in my hot Dragon Ball references here in 2019. Don't worry about it. Anyway, Mike, tell me more about Zangief in the form of... Well, I'm being presumptuous. Let's go to the final segment of the... Actually, no. Fuck that. Not final segment of the show yet. Sorry, I'm locking you in place for another minute or two.
In that,
how... I would be remiss if I didn't ask you something along these lines, but how has the player sponsorship affected you so far?
The Reddit sponsorship, or
yes, yes, our Street Fighter sponsorship that is like this one, yes, that you are currently in, correct?
I mean, it literally has my name and my phone alerts going like crazy because of retweets. That's one.
Damn.
It definitely helped out a lot though with exposure. That's one thing. A lot of people do know the Reddit Street Fighter community, and it helped my name get out there a lot more. It's definitely it got some pressure behind it. It definitely got me a little nervous, but it's something that I'm happy about. It it gives players like me. I actually was gonna cancel out on going to Combo Breaker.
Really?
Yeah, just because of I got a daughter.
You've got life
bills
stuff
to pay for, so
yeah. No,
I was actually gonna skip out on it. And after winning that, I was like, it's just an awesome feeling. You already had your mindset. All right, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna go. It's gonna cost too much. I don't have those expendable cash on the side just to throw into going to a tournament.
Right.
And yeah, after you get that, it's just like, all right, I'm in. Like, put me in, coach.
You've got a second.
I'll see what I can do.
No,
yeah.
That is a sentiment that, after talking to players that have been in your position before, that is like, whenever you have like the belief of a community, you have just the support. People are like, hey, we want to see you go and do well. There's something to that is somewhat intangible, that just like that extra boost, gives you a little boost that I feel like is, I don't know. I mean, I haven't felt it because I'm not the one who's being sponsored, but I have noticed that in a number of players to be like, this is cool. So I'm glad that people voted for you, because I'm biased as fuck. By the way, folks, just for full clarity, I don't vote. I try my very best to not try and sway the vote at all. By the way that I promote people, like if people in the voting process were like, vote for me, I would retweet that like without statements attached to it, without qualifications. I would just let it out there. because again, I don't want to have my opinion sway the vote. And
You should
luckily,
have seen how many times I went into people's streams and said vote for me.
no,
I
Mike,
literally went, yes, I shilled so hard.
on the grind, the shill.
They even called me Mike 2 shill.
That's accurate. That's appropriate.
They
honestly.
got who was Kirby Poppins.
Mhm.
They got so used to me popping into streams and saying that, and if he was in the chat and I said hello, just to ease into it, he literally
wanna
would
hit
just
him with
say
the link
vote
right
for
away.
Mike. Yeah, he literally just said vote for Mike. He didn't even let me warm him up yet.
Very good. Very good. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I think that shows initiative in certain things like this, where other players might not take that initiative or be filled with that. Because that's the thing. You put in the work, and now you're extra putting in the work. The pressure is on. If you don't do well, you will be fired. Because that's how the sponsorship works.
Why do you think I've been trying my best in these weeklies after that sponsorship announcement?
We will kick your ass to the curb, pack your bag, clear out your office. You're out of here. But no, it's I don't know. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to see what you do at this event, and I'm excited to see whatever you do afterwards, because it seems like your stream has a lot of momentum. It seems like it's something that you're committed to. It's something that you're committed to, like, make better over time, and I commend you for that. So good luck to you in the future, Mike.
Oh, thanks, Joe.
Now, I can't let you go without asking you a line of questions. It's a question that I ask everybody. It's a two-parter on their first time on the show. It is, what is your favorite normal attack in any fighting game?
You cut off.
Yeah. What is your favorite normal attack in any fighting game?
Well, I haven't really played that many fighting games, but my favorite move, I don't even know if it would actually be considered like an attack, but is Brian Fury's, in Tekken, Brian Fury's taunt.
The taunt. Very nice.
Yes.
I agree. What about it do you like?
Well, I mean, for one thing, you can literally just keep throwing that out. You know how Tekken, you can just stay laying down instead of, a specific time get up or wake up. And what I like about it is because there's so much that you can do with it. You can go from that to a combo. You can just use that to bait out your opponent. And it just looks so good. And whenever it does connect to a combo, you just, unload so much damage on your opponent.
No, I'm for it. Like taunt jet upper. So good.
Oh, yeah. Either that or just keep taunting right at them and they'll just stay on the ground. They'll be scared.
Right. Hey, all right. So last question is the second part of this question. What is your favorite combo in any fighting game?
All right. So my favorite combo, it's going to be heavily biased just because, I'm a Geef main. I practically main playing Street Fighter V, so it's going to be Zangief's corner. It's a corner-specific combo that I have never landed in ranked, never landed in casual, not even for fun, like casual sets offline. So in the corner,
very elusive combo then. Do tell.
Yes, it is. So you're gonna crush counter with his heavy kick, which is gonna float. And you have to have V trigger fully activated already for this.
Which V trigger?
V trigger 1.
Okay.
So you do the heavy kick crush counter. It floats them up in the air. You activate V trigger 1 right after that, the full V trigger 1.
Right.
So you're gonna get the juggle, and it's gonna hit the back hitbox on top of Geef's head.
The second fist, the back fist, the one that's like a little bit behind his head that people sometimes jump into because they're dumb.
Yep, that one, that specific one. And then, so the trick is to that you have to slowly move forward so they don't fall out of it.
Right.
And right at the last couple hits of that, you have to hold back on it. And then it juggles them in the air after that. You do a full charge heavy punch, which would still have enough juggle points, and you would still have just enough time to land an EX Borscht Dynamite, aka EX Air SPD.
I've never even. How have I never heard of? How did you find of this combo?
Just when I was playing around in the lab, I just got curious because I would do a heavy kick crush counter on somebody, and just they would juggle all the way up in the air, and I would try to do a heavy punch, and I just saw them float right after, and
right.
I think I tried for like 4 hours, and I landed it twice.
Huh. Oh my god! If you landed that in a tournament, that would be the highlight of the year.
Yeah.
That combo seems impossible. I'm going into the lab immediately after this conversation, by the way. I'm not even going to produce this. I lost a lot of video on this episode. It is down the fucking tubes, folks. You weren't here you didn't hear any of this shit. You didn't hear any of the backside of the panicking I'm going to do after to like make this episode real. But instead of doing that, I have a combo to learn.
I mean, and I think I only landed it against Birdie.
Oh, so do you think it's big body?
No, because I tried it on Alex, and I can't get it to land on Alex. And he has the widest one.
Okay. I'll have to look into this. Huh. This excites me. Because this doesn't... Like, you said this combo out loud, and... Here's the thing. I know enough about the mechanics of how all of Geef's moves work to go, you know what? That just might work. But I don't believe you.
You have to be so specific with timing, though. You do not have extra frames to spare. When you go from that full charge heavy punch
right
into that EX Borscht, there is almost no time.
By the way, folks, that is a combo that works. It is very hard to do. Easier to do against like Dulcim. He's easier to catch on that than anyone else for whatever reason. But dang, I'm gonna hop in the lab, check this shit out. Do it in the pre-tournament. Watch me do it in the pre-tournament and take all the glory.
Oh my god! If you do that in the pre-tournament, that's it right there. I'm like, yep, I will remove Too Strong out of my name. I will just be Mike. Mike has been or something.
By the way, all right. So I know that we're getting to the end of the episode, so people might be tuning out. But you need to tell me the story about your name matches.
Oh, yeah, so...
You got shit on the line, apparently, because
Kevin
Too Strong showed up in the tournament, and I was like, everything okay? You all right, Kami?
So, the backstory behind that, and this just all started just for funsies. So, me and Kamikaze Warrior, we talk a lot. We're pretty decent friends. So, one random day, he wanted to play a set. I was like, yeah, let's make it exciting. And I was like, all right, what do we got to do? The loser has to change their name to the winner, choice of whatever the winner wants them to change their name to. And you know what? We just rolled with it. Next thing you know, he's Kevin Too Strong. I stayed with Mike Too Strong. And just last night, another streamer, and he's joined the Reddit tournaments, the weeklies, D-Anthrax.
Very strong Fong player.
He is now a Bison player.
What? Wow, Mike, you're blowing my mind right now.
It's not
told
the
me
answer.
A combo that doesn't exist. Oh, D-Anthrax. Oh, D-Anthrax.
Yeah.
You're right. Never mind. I'm not that. You know what? Reel it back, because I guess not actually the first time I've confused those two, and I feel bad about it every time. All right, so go. You played D-Anthrax though.
Yeah, in a 1st to 5, and I was like. Because he was just streaming last night, so I popped into his chat. I'm like, hey, how's it going? I was just wondering if you want to play some sets. You want to play for a name change? And he was actually down. He didn't even think about it. I was like, you know what? Let's do this. And this is like, I don't know, 11:30 my time. I'm already in bed. I'm just scrolling through streams, just saying hi to everybody. And he said yes. I literally hopped off the bed, booted up the PC just so I can do this set.
Damn.
And yep. So won the first of 5, and yeah, now his name is D'Anthrax Too Strong.
I like that a lot.
I'm building
actually.
an army, Joe.
One by one, you're literally taking names in name matches. Yeah. Kicking ass and literally taking names.
If anyone wants to play a name match, and granted, if you beat me, you can change my name to anything you want. I'm definitely down. Unless you're a Minot player, then that's kind of unfair. But
yeah, you know when to fold them. You're a gambling man, but you're not crazy.
Yeah.
I see. That's really funny. That's a funny story. But if people think that that's a funny story and want to hear more funny stories, or if they want to watch these name change matches, is there a good name for that? I feel like there's a good name that we could name these name change matches. Something
we just gotta coin something that has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, something that has like a good, maybe like a pun, perhaps. CFN gamble. We'll workshop it, folks. We'll get there eventually, but
we'll get something.
If people want to watch something like that, where would they go to watch something like that?
Oh, that would be easy. You just gotta go on twitch.tv/mhike2strong. They're Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. till 10 p.m. Central.
It's working man's hours. I like it. And where can people find you on like other social media as well?
So for social media, I literally just have one, and that would be Twitter.
All right.
And at Mike2Strong. My name is literally the same. If anyone wants to even email me, it's literally Mike2Strong@gmail.com. Anything. Twitter is Mike2Strong. Discord, Mike2Strong. Everything's the same.
What also might not be obvious about that is the mic has an H in it. mhike2strong. Worth pointing out.
Yeah, you should see how some people say my name. It's sad.
Excuse?
I mean, you hear mhike, mhike, like a really breathy, like mhike.
Mhike. See, I only do that on the weekly to fuck with you, but people be out there doing it for real.
Yeah. I was just like, dude, just say Mike. Pretend there's no H.
That's pretty good. I like that a lot, actually. I like people who who think that there is an affectation they need to give the H. That is thoroughly good. That's thoroughly good. All right, folks. You can find mhike at mhike2strong on twitter.com. You can find me at Super Joe Monday, because if it's SH, they're gonna give that H in there. They're gonna say Super Joe Monday on twitter.com, or Reddit SF on Twitter for the main channel there, or just go to our Street Fighter and find Joe_Monday. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you want to email, there's email out there. Reddit Fighting is where you want to go. Hit that Twitch on Mondays. We got that tournament every Monday. It's a good show. Don't forget about the Kamikaze Warrior, a.k.a. Kevin Too Strong stream on Fridays now. Streaming the West Coast tournament as well. That's some good shit. Look out for that. But that's a show, folks. You can catch us every Thursday night, same time, same place. There might not be a video portion this week, so I'm sorry for the very few people who like to watch the YouTube archive this week. Get a podcast app. That's where most people listen to it anyway. Also, we're on Stitcher now, by the way. We're on Stitcher. We're on Shitcher. We're on Shitcher right now, actually.
Oh my god, that sounds hilarious.
I'm going to make a small bit.ly for bit.ly RSF Shitcher. And only the cool people will know about what that means. Anyway, folks, that's the show. Catch you again next time on another edition of RSF Radio. But until then, take care.